Hey, send me some Yeezys, dude. Send me some Yeezys.
Send you some Yeezys?
Yeah, send me some Yeezys, dude.
We're kind of done. At least for a little while.
All right, man.
You know what though? I'll pick you up a pair of PF Flyers. That's more your speed anyway.
What the fuck is a PF Flyer?
Look it up.
No fucking time. Back for the first time, geek enthusiasts and lovers of the plastic crack. This is your safe space, free from safety. So put your hands on some plastic. It's time for Toy Detox. We'll see how this show goes, dude. Because it's early for everybody. Like everybody's like,
shit, I've been up. What are you talking about?
I've been up since 8:40, but
8:40.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, well, actually, I went to bed at 3 though. I was like doing moving shit around and putting up shelves in my little man cave there. So
till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, actually, we were watching. We started off watching the rest of the House of Cards because we had a few episodes to finish. So I think we did like 3 or 4 episodes of that, and man, that fucking boy, that's my shit.
I was gonna say I think the first 2 seasons No, when did he actually get the presidency? Was that season 2 or season 3?
It was He at the end of season 2, he had the presidency. So season 3, he wasn't the presidency.
Yeah, so I think I started season 3 and then just never got into it.
Oh my god, you don't know what you're missing, bro. And like,
well, it was just like he finally got what he was after.
No, but that's the whole thing. You think that's the top of it, but that's never the top of the card. Like even now, so at the end of did you finish season 3?
No.
So I'm gonna give you spoilers because you're probably not gonna watch it no fucking way. So at the end of season 3, so he didn't run for presidency. He got the presidency basically by getting he was the vice president and he got the president impeached like behind his back and shit, right? So that's how he got the presidency.
By hook or by crook.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of season 3, he was coming up on the end of his term. So and the rest of the I think he's a Democrat. So the rest of the Democratic Party was like, we don't want you running for president, so step down. And he was like, fuck that. So he started running. So when season 4 comes in, no wait, I think I'm ahead of myself. I think that's so in season 3 he's running for president again. That's what it was. Season 2, I think, is when he's shit I just told you transpires. So in season 3 he's running for president, and at the end of season 3, his wife is like, I'm leaving you. You know what I'm saying? So when season 4 comes back in, it's like they're dealing with that shit. When she ends up coming back, and the dude from Suicide Squad and RoboCop and all that shit and The Killing, he plays his gun. That dude's career is like on the fast track. He's going, you know what I'm saying, to become like the next superstar Tom Cruise guy or whatever. But he plays a governor that's running for the presidency from the Republicans or for the Republicans. And it's funny because the guy is like just like his regular demeanor. Like on everything you see him, he's like real hood. Like yeah, he's the tall white guy and all that shit, but he's like real hood. You know, like he used to be an ex-rapper or some shit. He would think. But so they cleaned him up a lot for this show. Like they cleaned him up. He practiced all the mannerisms for like of being a statesman and all of that shit, or the mannerisms. So he did a pretty good job. But I think the biggest thing is at the end of this shit, at the end of season 4, all the dirt that Frank Underwood did. All the dirt that Frank Underwood did is coming to light. Is a newspaper, a major newspaper, is finna publish. Oh, they actually do publish all that shit, right? So at the end of this season, Frank Underwood and his wife is like, oh shit, we finna go to fucking prison. You know what I'm saying? Because they done murdered people, all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
the fucking so what they decide to do is go to war, or with there's a makeshift ISIS on the show instead of ISIS they use an ICO. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
you know how these shows do, they pull shit straight out of the headlines, right? So
Yeah.
there's a hostage situation, and they get two of the hostages, but the one is still captured. It's a guy, and they're like, so there's a scene where Frank and his wife are sitting up in their White House residential area, and they're like, and Frank's like, I'm scared, I don't know what the fuck to do, I'm numb. And his wife, she's a badass character, dude. She gets all cold and she's like, fuck this, I'm tired of trying to win people's hearts, so we're gonna take their hearts, we're gonna scare them, we're gonna fill them with fear. She said we're gonna create time or some shit like that. And he like automatically snaps on point. He's like, okay, we're gonna wage war. So they take the country to war against terrorism. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
and so they let this guy, because they could rescue the guy, but they let him be beheaded by the terrorists, streamed live by the terrorists over the internet, just to terrify the people, the United States citizens, right? So they could justify going to war. And like, so
Mm-hmm.
there's this scene at the end scene, right? To wrap it all up. Everybody's in the situation room. Everybody's in the situation room and shit. And as they're cutting this guy's head off, everybody's looking away. But Frank and and the first lady, they don't look away. They keep looking, right? And throughout the show, from season 1 till now, Frank has had this ability to fucking break the third wall? Like Deadpool
Yeah.
doesn't talk to the audience.
Fourth wall.
Fourth wall, yeah. So
Yeah.
at the end, but I mean, his wife has never did it. I mean, she's oblivious to that whole thing. He's the only one that is aware that we're watching and shit. He's narrating the whole story, right? Well, at the end of at the end, as they're cutting the guy's head off, he breaks the fourth wall. He's like, "That's right. We don't cringe. We don't look away, right?" And then, but it's funny because as he's talking, that usually, everybody else kind of looks away in their own way while he's breaking the fourth wall. Where the wife, she's drawn into it and she looks at him and it's like, oh shit, she's aware of him breaking the fourth wall. And then suddenly, at the end, after he makes his little dramatic speech and shit, she looks at the camera, and now that brings her into the thing. So now she breaks the fourth wall too. And that scene, that moment is like fucking ridiculous. That shit was. I watched the whole. If the show sucked, which the show doesn't suck, but if the show did suck, I would watch the whole 4 seasons just for that fucking moment. That shit was badass, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
What show is this?
The House of Cards.
Ah,
Yeah, just finished it last night on season 4 on Netflix. Man, that shit is fucking good, dude. I will recommend that everyone should watch this shit. It's fucking awesome.
I used to be a fan of Kevin Spacey, and then he played Lex Luthor.
I didn't think he was a bad Lex Luthor, man.
No, it was horrible.
He wasn't a bad Lex Luthor. You don't know shit, Oscar. You just know how to do voices and no actors and no producer names and no directors names and no shit about storytelling and no comics names and no comic companies names and comic producers and comic artists and comic pencil.
Shut up, you're a doo-doo head.
The problem with me for that movie, dude, was that this is Superman. You're fighting Superman, and there was no big climactic battle. It was like,
And
I got an
not a
island.
single punch was thrown.
So what?
Rip.
It's like, what if Superman was on Valium and chemically castrated? That's what you get. Superman
Yeah.
turns.
I was about to say that was your problem, not the giant island made of kryptonite.
No, yeah,
That was my
exactly.
problem.
Like the whole.
I kind of thought that was pretty cool, because it's all about Luthor and real estate is what those movies were about,
Yeah.
But the whole, he's just basically like a massive pacifist, which is, no, it's dumb.
Yeah. You know what? I hadn't considered that Luthor has always been about that real estate shit, right?
Yeah.
That movie.
Well,
Go ahead.
Except in part 4, where he was just like, I'm gonna make my own Superman.
No,
That shit was dumb as fuck.
I think it's in Superman. There's a line where they ask Luthor, and he says, there's only a few things that the world's not making more of: gold, diamonds, and real estate.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, damn,
Yeah.
cold blooded.
It's a true point, though, and that movie was actually very true to the original, in my opinion, very true to the original Superman movies.
I don't know. Gene Hackman did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I just, this is 20, like, what was that, 2014 at the time when that came out?
No,
Was it
that was
2014?
way old.
Was
It
it?
was like, I want to say 2010
Damn, that was in 2010, dude.
with Superman Returns with Brandon Roth. Yeah.
No, that had to be before 2010 because I remember I bought that movie on HD DVD when that was still a thing when I was living in California.
Brandon Pace.
Yep, when I was still living in California, and I left California at least 8 years ago. So
Damn. So might it have been in 2008, maybe, or 2009? Maybe 2009.
Well, that's when I bought it. So I mean, it had to be here. I'll look it up.
Probably 07.
Like we don't have the internet, right?
Like we don't have the interwebs. Oh, by the way, to the listeners, we're just going to go from here. By the way, to the listeners, Oscar Alonzo is joining us for the show. Thank you very much for coming on, Oscar.
Yay! Good thing I had to book myself.
Yay! Hey, you're your own agent. Yay!
Yay!
It's better than being your own grandpa. So this segues into the well, I kind of wanted to do the Batman versus Superman thing last, but whatever. I've been fucking Batman trailering it up. So you guys excited for the movie coming next week or what?
I am.
Still nervous.
As a DC fanboy, my first comic book was an issue of Green Lantern and Green Arrow, so
Yeah.
you know, my favorite DC character is Green Arrow. Well, Green Arrow, but no, Green Lantern. But you all saw how that movie came out.
Yeah.
But
you know what? Go ahead.
No, it's just that this has been like a big old like since the days of Photoshop. This movie has been like a dream.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I remember seeing like the old Photoshop Michael Keaton and Christopher Reeve posters that they would make, and back then people weren't so quick to be like, oh, fake. You would think, even though it was poorly done, you'd be like, oh my god, really? That's awesome.
It's finally happening.
Yes, and then
This is why I'm like, I don't. As long as that movie is as good as the Man of Steel movie, and I know it's highly debated as to how good the Man of Steel movie actually is. To me, I really like the movie. So as long as long as it's as good as that movie, man, I don't see how I will be happy. I will be happy, dude, because I know there's a lot of speculation on this movie, a lot of debate and shit. But I'm all in, bro. I've been waiting for this for forever.
I just my only beef with that film, watching the trailers, is just Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I mean, he has like amazing lines where where Lois Lane's like, "You're psychotic." He's like, "That's just a 3-syllable word for someone who can't understand a good idea."
Yeah, but see, my problem is that my problem in the movie is Lex Luthor, and from what I understand, he's not going to be what they're portraying him to be in the trailers. But I don't see how that he could not be, with so many clips of him being like a more of a Riddler or Joker like character. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, look, Clark Kent meets Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. Ooh. Take off your shirts, guys. I mean, shake hands. Yes, welcome to my party. Yeah, I saw that scene. I was like, no, no, you die. But I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Well, even, like that line didn't bother me. It was the follow-up line where
he
shakes his hand and he's like, "Oh, don't pick a fight with this guy." Come on.
Normally follows up with lines like, "Just feel that chest. That chest is rippling hard. Ooh, you're dangerous. You're just Mr. Wade."
I don't like what I'm seeing of that guy, and I'm not putting any weight on it because it's just a trailer. But my biggest pet peeve is the red capes are coming. The red capes are coming. I hate that.
Yeah, that is fucking dumb.
I hate it. Now I was go ahead.
I'll come clean. I never saw the movie Social Network that starred the same guy playing Lex Luthor. I don't even know the guy's name. I seen him in Zombieland. He was great.
Yeah,
but I'm sure his portrayal of Mark Zuckerberg was actually more accurate to like a Lex Luthor.
What's his name? Tyler.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg. Now, see, I was just thinking that. Oscar, like the Mark Zuckerberg character he plays seems to me that would have been more of a younger Lex Luthor character for the movie, not this fucking goofball shit. But
he is really good in Social Network.
Yeah, he was really good in that.
Yep.
But then,
absolutely.
It is confirmed he's Lex Jr., right? He's not, in fact, Lex Luthor.
Is that the case? I didn't know that. I didn't hear that.
I haven't been reading into the articles. Ever since they announced the Deadpool movie, I've been staying away from clickbait. I fell for the Batman vs Superman clickbait of like the theory if the Batman in this film isn't really Batman, it's Slade Wilson, really.
No.
And yeah, Slade Wilson apparently had his own butler too. Like, I'm not really that educated with Deathstroke, the Terminator per se, but the theory was coming across as really sound, and I was just like, okay, this is just a good example of someone just writing something for the sake of writing it. So I left it alone after that. I was like, no more clickbait, and that's why you don't see me. The last thing I shared movie-wise was like that fucking Civil War trailer with Spider-Man, but that's just about it.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that Civil War trailer too, as a matter of fact.
Well, I've read the Slade Wilson stuff. There's no way they would do that for Joe Public. You know what I mean? Like, it would confuse the hell out of people.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that one. Let's dig into this portion of it with the all the misleading shit that's out there, right? And the people that actually are populating those memes and actually feeding into that, because I too just totally do not believe that the fucking studio would go so far into twisting the story up to that point, because people would be totally fucking lost.
Yeah. I mean, it's would you fall?
No, I was fucking laughing at you. I gave that fucking great monologue, and you were like, "Yeah."
But yeah, that's gonna be fun. The fan theories, yes, because they're all legit.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. Like at first I would see a couple of them roll out, and I was like, that would be weird to do that. Then I started seeing more and more, and people actually like delving into them, and I was like, no fucking way. Like the fucking somebody else is Robin, and that Robin is the Joker that we have not even seen in the trailers, but he painted the costume and all of this shit. And the butler is somebody else. They're the one you guys were just talking about, which I had not heard about, the Slade Wilson. Oh, not that. I did hear that. Slade Wilson being the... Why the fuck would he be calling himself Bruce then?
Exactly. That's just to my point. Like, it would confuse the public. Like, you got to remember, like, these things, like, they're not made for us. Mm-hmm. Like, they're getting there. They're getting closer. I think they're putting bits and pieces in there to kind of, give a nod to the source material. But we got to remember, like, this is for... mom and dad and everybody else who's like, why are these best friends fighting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not going to go away from Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. There's no way.
No fucking way, dude. Like, so at the end of the movie, they're like, I got a secret to tell you, Batman. Oh, I got a secret to tell you, Superman. I'm not really Batman. I'm not really Bruce Wayne. I'm actually Deathstroke. You know what I'm saying?
I'm Slade Wilson, and in comes Ryan Reynolds, and I'm Wade Wilson. No. I mean, it's bad enough to see, like, the fanboys get up in arms because of that fucking screw attack video, Goku versus Superman.
And then all of a sudden, the fucking dude from the Arrow just comes, like, down a fucking ladder, a fucking, what you call that shit? The fucking pull-up ladder.
Fucking zip line.
Yeah, he just comes down. No, that fucking ladder shit he's always on every episode when he's the Jacob's ladder shit. Or whatever that shit's called.
Ladder.
Yeah, he comes down that shit. He's like, and I'm Green Arrow.
And then here comes the Flash with his cup of Starbucks. Hey guys, here to talk about feelings.
Yeah, no fucking way.
I'm really fast.
Yeah, no fucking way, dude.
No, I think people were jumping to the whole Slade Wilson thing because there's a lot of those clips where it looks like Bruce is killing people, and the Slade Wilson Batman was actually killing people.
But did the Slade Wilson Batman call himself? Did he call himself Slade in his normal identity, or did he call himself Bruce Wayne?
No, I don't think he ever referred to himself as Bruce or Slade. Like, he was always Batman.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, the fans just don't. The fanboys don't know what the fuck they're talking. I think they're like, I don't know, geeked up on some fucking Mountain Dew or some shit, or or some Kool-Aid or something. And it's just like, and
or
you,
not enough of it.
Yeah,
Half the shit they write.
yeah, like I think they got an IV going of fucking Mountain Dew Code Red. You know what I'm saying? It's got an IV going, and they're fucking like just amped up, dude. Like, 'cause, I mean, I know how it is. You know how it is. You're waiting for the movie. You're waiting. So every little, at least for me, every little bit that I can get of it, I just want to suck it up. You know what I'm saying? I just want to sponge it up. So they're probably like in their fucking caves waiting for this shit and just coming up with shit.
So have you seen that new trailer where Batman blocks Superman's punch?
Yeah, I saw that. I love
Everyone's
that.
getting all bent out of shape, and then there's that guy from YouTube. He's like he's a hardcore weeaboo. I've seen a few of his videos, looking up like because I heard they finally ended the Naruto stories. I'm like, oh, how's it end? I gotta see that, and then like he posted a meme because I was like, you try to tell me Superman can beat up Goku with this type of shit? And it's like it's like there's your lack of knowledge because in The Dark Knight Returns, like he really crippled the shit out of Superman.
Yeah, he beat his fucking ass.
That fight was like incredibly one-sided in the beginning of that fight with that fucking until he busted out the hypersonics, and because of Superman's super hearing, that knocked his equilibrium off whack, and
he fucked.
And then of course the game changer was when a one-armed green arrow hanging upside down from a ladder shot him with a kryptonite arrow. Yeah,
Well, that's the other thing, man. That same trailer, like you see Superman like fly, kind of like move quickly through like a cloud of dust. Yep. Have you seen that? And then like he looks back over his shoulder. I think we might get a little green arrow with the kryptonite arrow.
We're gonna get a little something to get that kryptonite arrow. We're gonna get something. And because
I think kryptonite has something to do with it, but I don't think we'll get green arrow. I mean, the way like Stephen Amell was really public about them announcing a Flash movie, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, like they just started the show, and then you're gonna cast someone other than Grant Gustafson to play Barry Allen for this film, and he's like, it's bullshit, and. But
he better shut that beautiful mouth before he doesn't have his show anymore.
and it's like, so it's like it may just be like Superman gets his hands on some kryptonite either through Lex Luthor or his own research. Because remember, it's fucking Batman. Give him a week, the guy can defeat fucking Galactus.
Yeah, true.
So he probably got his hands on some kryptonite. That's the only way I can see that, unless he's got that suit is like seriously like augmenting his strength. And and he ends up paying for it later on after that big fight between the two of them. But I do love that one internet meme where Superman's so powerful he ripped off Batman's makeup.
Yeah,
because he takes the mask off. He's got the black, the black makeup. He takes it off. No more black makeup underneath his eyes.
I thought I did read somewhere that there was like, and this goes back to like the misleading information and shit. But I thought I read somewhere, or I did read somewhere that there's some portion of the story where it's supposed to be that Lex Luthor or Luthor Corp or whatever that LexCorp, whatever that fuck it is, it acquired a lot of the fucking debris from
Krypton.
Yeah, Krypton. And then something about they got Zod's body or some shit, and so Wayne Industries got a portion of something or some shit, and I would assume that's where he got the kryptonite from.
That sounds like a pretty sound idea. I totally can see that happening. For the record, for everyone listening, that's of course Mickey Brave at Brave Toys Reviews at ToyDetox.com for not reading up on Superman's origin, which has been public knowledge for the last 75 fucking years. But now going past that point.
I'm just gonna edit that part out, don't worry. Made me look a jackass with my shit.
This is the same guy who thinks Skywarp's blue Oscar. So
let's go, Tyler. Let's go, Tyler.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So what did you break this week, Mickey?
Actually nothing. What did you break this week, Tyler?
Nothing. I haven't got anything.
You still haven't got any of your stuff in, man?
What was that?
Still haven't got any of your stuff in?
No. I barely got back to my my apartment yesterday. I spent most of the week in Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Bridgewater? What's going on there?
We got an office down there. This is thrilling conversation for the listeners.
I'm just gonna cut it. I'm just gonna cut out all the parts for you in it anyway, so don't worry about that.
I got Masterpiece Hot Rodded, and I love him. Awesome figure.
No one asked you yet, Oscar. No.
Shut up, I'm talking.
I'm the guy. I get to speak over all of you. You don't tell me to shut up. You think this is Shadowcast Uncut? You have to show up every Friday on iTunes.
So you like the Hot Rod, dude?
I do. I love it. It's a great figure. I also got TFC's Minos and Thanatos, whatever their names are.
Yeah.
Oh, the Lyo Kaiser bots?
Yeah. I'll call them by who they really are. Hellbat and Kill Bison. And I love Hellbat, man. Fucking Kill Bison. Jesus.
That's
My fingers hurt turning you into a fucking tank. God damn.
Yeah, that internal foot transformation is kind of a bitch.
That is stupid. Oh my God. Why couldn't you just bring a boot they plug into like all the other combiners? No, let's be unique and make them absurdly heavy from the bottom.
So the actual
trying to keep it
combiner foot,
like the G1.
the combiner foot is actually a part of the actual bot.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to call it a foot, it's more of an ice skate blade. But
I fucked around with it a bit with both of them, but I haven't I don't think I like them. Not that they're bad or anything. I just don't think they're not appealing to me at all.
It's because we can't trust you with toys of that caliber, Mickey.
Get the fuck out of here! I thought we dealt with this shit last episode.
I gotta say, I saw Brave's review on TFC's Detective, and it was really killing me about that shit was so poorly made. That front tire looked like it was just straight up about to fall right off that fucking G-Mode.
That's basically how it is. That fucking
it was so terrible. Wobbly. I was like, you need to get the fuck out of here with that. Like they're calling that their quote masterpiece unquote. Fuck that.
Yeah. Well, have you seen Geringer's TFC Ironhide?
No.
Oh, you got to look at it's a solo. I want to say it's around like the 19-minute mark. Like a part he's not even touching when he's transforming the roof. That bitch just snaps in half. and it's funny. Like he's kind of quiet at first. And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I wasn't even touching it." he had a great Brave moment there.
Get the fuck out of here, dog. You ain't never seen me even. You think you see me like break one thing on camera? And I actually kept it on camera so people could see the shit. No, that actually didn't even happen on camera with that fucking with that gun dog. You bastard, Tyler. Fucking spreading all this fucking hate me. Hey, what the fuck were you talking about with the cereal shit, Tyler? I was totally lost on that.
Oh, you were taking a shot at me eating your Lucky Charms, and I was like, I'm not Irish, I'm Scottish, but thank you.
I was actually eating Lucky Charms, Tyler.
Racist.
I tell you what, dude. We've had all
Mickey, you racist.
We've had all of these white presidents, and still race relations have not been with the Irish community.
Who needs a Trump rally? We could have a big old problem right here.
Oh man, I haven't gotten any Transformer shit of late, other than that MP Hot Rod and the buzzing, which I did not. I don't think I like buzzing. I think we talked about this last show. I don't think I like him at all. I don't hate him. I just don't. He's just not anything special. I actually do like the Hot Rod a bit with those skinny jeans, skinny jeans. But I've gotten some import shit. I've been focusing more on the SH Figure Arts Star Wars shit. I was just going to go with the Darth Maul, and I got in the Luke, the black suit Luke, whatever he's fighting his dad or whatever. And and I've been going since then, dude. So I got in the Obi-Wan Kenobi, the old Ben, and I got in the Kylo Ren, and I went on and pre-ordered the rest of that shit. And now I'm trying to twerk a Phasma. But my biggest accomplishment, I got the okay. So you guys ever heard of Votoms?
A what?
Votoms. It's like it's a old anime, man. It's a classic. Well, Yamato made figures for it, right? And they're like really, really, really rare, really, really sought after. I think the figures are more kind of like Figma figures almost. They're pre-Figma. You can tell where Figma probably took some cues from Yamato on this shit, right? Where Good Smile Company took some cues from him. But I got my hands on two of those figures, and then one of the scope dogs I'm watching now, which is like a big armored suit, and you put the figure. It's fucking cool. People can see the pictures in the slideshow of the show while I'm talking about it. And as a matter of fact, I think you can probably see it also on the Toy Detox page. But the shit's fucking cool. And the guy just PM'd me last night saying that he had a armor suit that he wouldn't mind working a deal out with me on. So I'm pretty excited about that. And no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about. So that's that.
I'll tell you what I recently completed was the Batman 30th anniversary Dark Knight Returns wave.
Those three?
Which, yep, those three. I just got done doing a review. That'll be up tonight, hopefully. But oh my god,
What you think
buy
about
them.
them? Yeah, they suck, don't they?
Dude, oh my! Like I know they released the Batman figure during the whole Batman Unlimited figure release line. They did like the black and gray version.
I have that guy. Yeah.
And so that's that same mold for Batman and Superman. So they're immensely muscular. And then you have like the Son of Batman figure, which is not bad per se, but it's like, man, Superman's cape feels like a fruit roll-up you left out of its wrap for like a week. You know? And I don't know, like those are like, it made me miss my Mezco Batman because I sold that bad boy like fucking last year.
Why didn't you sell it to me, Oscar?
Huh?
Why didn't you sell it to me?
You had it already, dude.
Yeah, but you had the same one I had. I won it anyways. Go ahead, tell the story. Go ahead, bro. Listen.
But hey, you know what? Good news is Mezco is now doing the Batman vs Superman figures. They're doing them in the 1/12 scale, so that's a 6 inches tall.
Yep.
And they also announced, and I pre-ordered that bitch the moment that shit came up on BBTS.
I pre-ordered for all of them shits.
They're doing the Shazam Mezco figure.
I am pre-ordered for that. I am pre-ordered for their Captain America: The Civil War shit. They're doing their. Are they doing the Civil War per se, or are they just doing the? Or are they just doing some the Captain America? I pre-ordered the Cap on BBTS for like $80, which is a simple price.
Captain America.
Yeah, and then I'm in for the the rest of the DC shit too.
Or the what?
For the rest of the DC shit. Have you seen the rest of that shit? They're doing they're doing Shazam, like you said. They're doing the original Superman. They're doing the Flash. They're doing a bunch of fucking DC characters, dude.
Serious?
Yeah, man. Go on Toy Art, dude. You see all of that shit.
Oh, okay.
So,
like Toy Art.
Do you think that
just got really, really expensive?
Yeah. That shit is very expensive. Like the original Batman, the Mezco Batman, I think it was only like $60 or something like that, Oscar, when it first came out?
It was like $75, depending on where you went. Like I got them for $75 at fucking Walmart of all places.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I had to ship to a Walmart and I picked them up for just $75. I was like, yes.
I got mine from a local comic shop. I had them order it, but I still paid that comic. You know how the comic book store price goes. But the SDCC, I think it was SDCC, the black and white Judge Dredd. I got that for $60. That was a pretty good price.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty good price. Hey, so I think that fucking Son of Batman is the better figure from. I did a review on that shit, but. The figures was just so I just never even bothered to edit that shit. I was like, no one will ever see this shit. Fucking Batman's face is like he has like his face like if you already have the mold, right? All you have to do is repaint it. It looks like you know how like a sorry customizer would like you know what I'm saying like a total novice would just like paint over the paint that's already there or some shit. That's what his face looks like. It looks like paint on top of paint. It's terrible.
Oh my god, their Flash figure looks sick.
Yeah, they're that whole line is going to be dope, man. You know that kind of like Tyler when we were talking about. I think it was last year we were talking about like Masterpiece, GI Joe, Masterpiece, and other lines. I think that's kind of what Mezco is doing with those figures. They're Masterpiece 6-inch versions of the figures. You know what I'm saying? Because they're far beyond with like some legends and shit like that.
Yeah, I've seen them before. I actually found a spot here in the city that's got all that kind of stuff. All your Bandai, all that. It's got your what is it? Your A3 or 3A, whatever that stuff is.
Yeah,
you love.
Yeah.
They got all that in there.
See, y'all got all of that shit up there. I would love to just go trotting through the city of New York with some spending dollars.
Let's
all
go.
the local shops and shit.
Dude, they're even doing a Daredevil, the red and the yellow and red costume.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I think they're gonna do a good bit of Marvel shit too, man. And see, this all goes back to their what's those fucking figures? The God, what were they called? It's like some kind of,
Mezco's. No, Migos.
yeah, the Mego
That's what they
figures.
remind me of.
Yeah, I think now didn't Mezco make the Mego figures, or did Mego
I
make
don't
the Mego
know.
figures?
I'm not that familiar with their company, but they do remind me of it because it's like, real cloth,
Yeah,
and it's like the perfect amount of spandex on it. So it's not overkill like a Marvel Legend or a DC Classics figure. But goddamn, even their Punisher looks fucking sick.
yeah, the punch looks badass. Yeah, I think Mezco used to make the Migos. I think it's like their updated version of the Mego line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you take like the Batman cloth or any of those little 60, like for instance, okay, so the Judge Dredd, he has a zipper, so you can zip that shit all the way down, get sexy, and like you can see his body, right? And it does kind of remind you of that old Mego style.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Brave, you just crossed a line that I didn't know existed.
I'm crossing all kinds of lines all the time, buddy.
You can back up a couple steps. You're getting turned on by.
I was hoping that
6-inch dolls.
I was hoping that Mike was going to be on the show so he can go through that whole. We're not going to say certain things, and I was going to just bust out to say it.
You know what would make them better, and this is kind of where Mafex, that other company that did like the Dark Knight figures,
Yeah.
is beating Mezco out on is when it comes to characters with capes like Superman, Batman. They actually have like a wire in that cape for better posability. Like they did it with their Batman. They did it with if you watch Bobby Skullface's review on Darth Vader, the SH Figure Arts. It comes with like a wire in that cape that affects Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually really, really freaking neat. So
yeah, they do need something like that because with that Batman cape, it has that little it has that little posing spindle thing, and that shit's a headache, dude. With all the clips and all of that shit, it's a fucking headache. Now my facts, they're fucking okay. So you guys are into the Star Wars figures, right, or not?
yeah, I am with the SH Figure Arts.
Yeah.
Bobby got me hooked on that crack, son of a bitch. But no, they were actually really
He gave
nice.
me that good stuff.
He gave me that sweet kush. That's what he did. I have a couple of clone troopers.
Mm-hmm.
And those figures are awesome. I have Darth Maul, which is fucking nice.
Yeah, he's dope.
Oh, they're even making a Space Ghost. God damn, this something.
Fucking still on that shit. Yeah,
Dude, I can't stop. I'm like, oh, this Flash is awesome. The Superman is awesome.
That
and
fucking
then, oh my God,
112
Space Ghost.
line is going to be ridiculous, dude. I'm glad they're doing that shit. Because I would rather pay that for a good figure like that than to keep dumping disposable money on disposable Marvel Legends, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Yeah. But like,
that Batman, I miss you.
What I was going to get into was that, so like the SH, I ordered the SH figure, I got the SH Figure Arts Kylo Ren, right? But I got it thinking it was going to be this. I had seen pictures of the Mafex Kylo Ren with the alternate head and everything. So when I ordered the SH Figure Arts version and I got it in, I was expecting the Mafex joint, which has not come out yet. So when I opened it up, I was like, "Where the fuck is my alternate head?" And I was like bummed about that shit for like 2 days. Like I didn't even want to look at it. I didn't want to open it up or nothing. Actually, no. I opened it up to see if maybe my head was in the back of it, was under the clamp, the tray or some shit like that. And I was like, it doesn't have a head. And I just kind of put that shit in the corner and didn't fuck with it for a while after that. I think I'm going to definitely go Mafex on that Kylo, man.
I'm sorry, I made us go off topic. I apologize.
We don't have on topic, dude. This show we just roll, bro.
Yay! Oh, so speaking of Mezco and their Captain America, how about that new Cap trailer that on the Ruse?
Yeah, you just talking about it, Tyler.
You know,
Is Tyler still?
Nah,
Is Tyler still there?
Tyler.
Where the fuck did Tyler go?
I'm here. Sorry.
What the fuck are you doing, Tyler?
Nothing. I walked
being
into
recorded on the air, you monster.
I walked away from the good service area in this apartment.
Fucking Tyler's in the shower jerking off. That's fucked up, dude. You wait till we get out.
Dude, I
Fucking
love
bullshit.
seeing the shit that has hit the fan with this Captain America trailer.
So I've missed all the stories behind this. Can you guys fill me in on?
Well, no, I was gonna say most people love the trailer until they see Spider-Man, and then all the hate begins to flow.
They go, "Are you fucking serious?"
In what way? Like I am opposed to this Spider-Man in all shapes, forms, and fashions because it's not the Garfunkel guy, and it's also signaling a reboot in the other storyline from the other studio. But that's my true hate for it. What's the hate that's tied to the actual trailer?
He's too young. His voice is too high. His costume looks very dated. So on, and so on.
You know, why is his eyes squinting? He's never done that. Oh my fucking god! You never read a comic. His name's John Romita Sr., son of one of the greatest comic book artists of all time. I'm such a fanboy. But yeah, his run on Spider-Man. Spider-Man's eyes would like squint and shit like that in the comics. You know.
Yeah.
So the fact that they did this is fucking awesome. And as far as the costume is concerned, like the spider insignia, they're saying it's too small. They're also saying that fucking, you know, what else? They're also saying that the costume's got like these black stripes on it for some reason.
That the webbing pattern's wrong.
Yeah.
It's too light.
It's too light, or like now they're pointing out continuity issues with a fucking trailer. Like, hey, where's the webbing on that shield? And you know, and it's like, dude, stop. Just fucking stop. The reason why people are doing this is because they want to be the first to call out on that shit.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like, I thought about it. Like I saw the trailer, and then I was driving last night, and I was kind of replaying it in my head. Like, I'm okay with the way he looks. Like at first, I kind of was like, okay, I see what they're complaining about. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, if this is like the first introduction with Peter Parker into this universe, and maybe that is the first costume. That's his initial costume. Like, it could evolve, like as these things progress. You know what I mean? If this is his first iteration, or if this is the one that was he made, quote unquote.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Shut up.
No. I'm going.
Dude, I'll tell you right off the bat. Okay, and I'm gonna come clean. I had never, ever been a fan of Spider-Man.
What the? Off the show, sir. Off the show.
The fucking Carnage saga, which took forever to fucking resolve, and then that goddamn Clone Saga, where he was so goddamn angsty. It's like you could easily make the argument that the Clone Saga of Peter Parker in his like depressive states, him and Ben Reilly, basically inspired emo music. Okay, it was so fucking annoying. It just got tiresome to fucking to read all this shit, man, and to fucking try to root for the character. And then I got back into him with the relaunch with J. Michael Straczynski and John Romita Jr. when he was doing the pencils on it, and Len Barley doing inks. Fucking, I love that run. That was a great fucking run. And then I don't know what happened that eventually led up to, obviously, One More Day.
One More Day. One More Day. I found my way back in with Superior Spider-Man. I did. I mean, it was. I know it wasn't my Peter Parker. I found my way back in with Superior Spider-Man. But the One More Day thing, which was good, but
it's a good what if story, but not something to have like affected continuity.
That totally took me off of Spider-Man, bro. And Spider-Man is the character that brought me into comics, toys, imagination as a kid, drawing. The first thing I ever drew was fucking Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? So that's my favorite character ever in the history of everything. Like, arguably, you could say that when I go to church, I expect to see a Spider-Man on the cross behind the pastor. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite fucking everything, right? And Marvel totally destroyed that. And I feel like they are doing it on purpose with the movies, where they keep fucking rebooting it and not letting. Why do they hate Mary Jane? Why do they hate the relationship between Peter and Mary?
That's Joe Quesada there. He thought it wasn't believable that someone like Peter Parker could be with someone like Mary Jane. So that's all on him.
But he believes, he finds it believable that fucking Peter Parker could be a goddamn teenager for the rest of eternity. Like, they don't want to let him grow up, dude. I mean, he was already an adult. Like, when Todd McFarlane was drawing it, like back in the day, that Peter, first of all, Todd made it realistic because again I've said this before. Peter Parker wasn't a nerd as an adult, bro. He was a nerd when he was a high school kid. He actually became cool. You know what I'm saying? Not like fucking Tom Cruise cool or something. That's my second Tom Cruise deal. I wonder what's going on with that. So not like Tom. That's three. Not like that, but still he was cool. He was pretty sought after, right? As far as the chicks go and shit like that. So. I don't understand why they won't let fucking Peter Parker be an adult and be married to Mary Jane in the fucking movies, right? I've been waiting for that fucking Peter and Mary Jane get married story for forever because that would give us the real Venom story. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why they can't give us that shit.
Because that's the gateway. That's the way in for these younger generations is they're able to see themselves in the younger Peter Parker. These kids that are 11, 12, 13, 14 years old where he's the boy amongst men. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get that. But it makes no sense because we got so many other superhero characters and so many. Let's just talk solely movie universes, right?
Time for me to be a dick and get us real topic. ToyWiz.com has that Judge Dredd Mezco figure ordered. I really should not be buying this, but I just did. Hey, back to Spider-Man.
Hey,
Oscar, this is Toy Detox. You're supposed to wean yourself off of toys.
Oh, my dog just farted. Oh my god.
Oh. Yeah, blame the dog.
Brave is being a bad influence again.
God. hey, Oscar. They also doing the or they did the Lawgiver that fucking motorcycle that he rides.
Yeah, the law. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that one. There's two versions of it: the color version, the black and white version. And then 3A did their own 6-inch Judge Dredd along with their own motorcycle as well. Which I think the Mezco one actually beats theirs, though. If you ever get a chance, check out World of 3A and check out their bike. And that shit looks pretty good. Their Judge Dredd looks pretty similar to the Mezco one, though.
All right. I'll check that shit out.
Back on topic, though. Why the fuck would they?
Man.
Yeah, why the fuck can't we have the fucking Mary Jane? And I see what you're saying, like Tyler. I would not argue that you're correct. I believe that you are correct. But there are like many fucking superhero movies universes in the movie universes where all the characters are fucking adults. Spider-Man hasn't been a teenager since like the fucking what the fuck. Even in his cartoon show, he was a fucking adult. Remember that old cartoon that came out around the X-Men time? Remember that shit?
Around the 90s, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, he was in college still, wasn't he?
He was in college, but then at some point
and then he graduated, and then I believe he was in college and he graduated.
Yeah, so he was still an adult then. They like they would not let this motherfucking man. Like what the fuck? and now,
bitch ass motherfucker.
Yeah, and now they want to reboot this shit. Okay. I'm fucking spiraling. I'm spiraling. I take it personally. They hate black people. That's what it is.
Spider-Man Black. What are you talking about?
I have a serious issue with that. Just tell the story.
Morales?
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. That story was great. But okay, when you do the Wolverine story, when they came up with the Wolverine story, the Wolverine movie, even though they fucked the Wolverine movies up, whatever the case is, it was fucking Wolverine, right? X-Men were fucking X-Men. Daredevil was fucking Daredevil. Batman is fucking Batman. You dig what I'm saying? Stop fucking with Spider-Man, dude. Tell us the story that we want. They got they did the fucking reboot with Garnuckle, whatever the fuck his name was, after the Tobey Maguire Tobey Maguire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but they forced into that one though because they had or the rights or whatever.
I have no problem with it because I will be honest with you, I was one of the main people that were like, fuck this Garfunkel guy, Tobey Maguire with Spider-Man, because it's the same argument for me. I wanted the story to progress, okay? We've been through all of this shit. They have fucking graduated college or whatever the fuck. Can we please see Spider-Man? Can we please see Peter Parker and Mary Jane get married? They rebooted, fine. I was like totally against the dude, but then after actually watching the first one and watching the second one, I like the second one. I know a lot of people don't, but I do, right? I was like, okay, you know what? I'm on board for this guy because he's an awesome Peter Parker. He's an awesome Spider-Man. I think that he captured Spider-Man far better than Tobey. I said it. It's out there.
Have you gone back and watched any of those Tobey Maguire movies?
Yeah, I watched that shit.
Anytime lately?
Yeah, I watched that shit.
it was on HBO or Showtime, like the third one with Venom and
Oh,
Sandman,
that
and
shit
it
was
was terrible. It does not
Horrible.
hold up at all.
Those are like Michael Bay Spider-Man movies, dude. I mean, like with all the scenes that make you, all the
Wow.
scenes that make you want to fucking cheer like Spider-Man on the fucking American flagpole for freedom.
That's some straight up ignorant shit to say.
No, I'm saying it, dog. I'm saying
Spider-Man Michael Bay movie. That's like
it.
sacrilege to Spider-Man.
I'm gonna say it, dude. I'm gonna say it. Like the first one was good. I mean, the first one I loved because I mean I was in Germany at the time and shit. And so the first one was good, dude. I loved it. The second one, okay, all right, yeah, okay, all right. But that fucking third one, oh, it shitted on the rest of them so horribly that I cannot remember any good memories from any of them. And fucking Toby's fucking cry face, oh my god, it's repugnant.
Well, and his emo movement.
Now I did like that scene.
You had a problem with Tobey Maguire's cry face, but you embraced that fucking Green Goblin from the second Amazing Spider-Man film.
No, wait, what are you talking about?
That's your boy, Andrew Garfield, whatever the fuck his name is.
Garfunkel is not the fucking Green Goblin. That's a whole different thing, dude.
I'm talking about villains, homie, but like you get repulsed by Tobey Maguire, but yet it comes fucking hipster, Green Goblin, come flying in there. Hey, Peter, I'm gonna stop you. I'm bad. Just look at how messed my hair is. I'm so evil.
Okay, well, in all fairness, there's not been one Spider-Man movie that has gotten. I don't know. Okay, let me ask you this question before I make the statement. What did you guys think of the Doc Ock from the second one?
What did I think of it? I thought it was actually that is probably, and I watched the Spider-Man movies in theaters. I don't own them on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Liar, they're right there. But that is probably hands down one of my favorite superhero movies of all time, because like Dr. Octopus is like in that film was like a tragedy.
Yeah,
is what that was. Like he didn't have much. He had his research and he had his wife. His wife was like his rock. She was his foundation. And when he lost her, then you get to see him crumble away slowly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it spoke volumes. Like he's in the Peter Parker. Oh no, Spider-Man. In that fucking cartoon show, he was a tortured man, and he lost the love of his life, and and his work meant nothing to him. So, he'll at least see that through. Mind you, he's being slowly manipulated by the arms. They're talking to him. I mean, like that was probably hands down one of my favorite superhero movies of all time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you and say I'm not gonna say of all time, but I will go with you and say that I think as far as the villains go from the Spider-Man movie, I'm gonna go with that as being one of the best villain portrayals, and then the second one for me would be the the Lizard from the newest series.
I was about to say, don't you dare say Jamie Foxx.
Dude, what you got a problem with Jamie Foxx? Ray? Electro Ray? You got a problem with Electro Ray?
I saw the ASM movies when they came out in theaters.
Uh-huh.
With all due respect to Spider-Man fans out there, especially fans of Electro, I think Jamie Foxx, for what it's worth, did a great. I'm not familiar with Electro. I don't know what his real origin story is. Fucking in the cartoon, he was like this massive, like immensely powerful being. That the Red Skull kept on, like, on ice and shit like that.
Yeah.
But, in the movie with Jamie Foxx's portrayal, again, they just, like, and that's kind of why I probably never dug the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Because, instead of one villain, they're just bum rushing you with two at once. Okay? And then secondly, like, his, again, was another tragic fucking tale. Like, he was a blip. He wasn't even a blip on the radar. Like people were just like pushing him around. He was getting, like the man had no respect. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, you remember my name? Anyone remember his name?
He's like, you're my buddy, right? Yeah, I'm your buddy. I'm a Spider-Man's friend. It's like, it's so desperate. And then like he has a cake and he's singing happy birthday to himself. And it's like, it's one of those like, I don't know. It's like you're watching a comedy where the main character's going to do something dumb.
Yeah.
So you're just like, I can't even watch. And that's what it felt like watching that scene with the cake. I was like, okay, we're done here. We're done. This is incredibly stupid.
Back to Doc Ock for a second, though. Like, two things. One, Oscar, I think you hit it on the head. Whenever they can pull you in and you feel sympathy for the villain, like, it just makes it that much more credible. But the only thing I did not like was him talking to the tentacles and then snapping back and forth like they were actually talking to
Listen to me now.
That was terrible. Yeah,
Listen
exactly.
to me now. I actually like that part. So,
well, like, that character's portrayal, like, he did a great job. I forget the actor's name. He also played Blackbeard on the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean, New Tides.
He's been in quite a few movies, especially like 80s movies. And I love me some 80s movies. And I think a couple of horror movies as well. And I love me some
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with a 6-pack of Coors Light and a Charles Bronson Death Wish flick.
There you go, sir. Hey, Death Wish used to be the shit, as a matter of fact. Hey, so I was thinking as we were talking just then, and I think what drew me into the Garfunkel Spider-Man movies was the dynamic between, because I was never really a fan of the whole Gwen Stacy deal. You know what I'm saying? But I like their interaction and the relationship between and Gwen Stacy.
Stone,
I dig that.
That'll give the first Amazing Spider-Man. There was like some seriously good chemistry between the two of them on screen. Even though that was it the second one? I think it was the second one that kind of felt less like a Spider-Man movie, more like an advertisement for Sony Music.
Yeah.
With all his events. Yeah, it's the second one where he finds out more about his parents and shit.
Yeah.
But it's like the significance of the comic book, world is that she was officially, like, her death was like of comics stopped being, about the villain going, Spider-Man, you followed my plans before. And then Spider-Man's like, Dr. Octopus, and, twit. And her death ushered in the new age of that black and white stuff going away into a world of gray where it's like Spider-Man's conflicted about decisions he made. And then it started, like, it released this, like, massive domino effect that affected every comic book out there.
Let me ask you this question. How did you feel, going back to that movie where she died, how did you feel about the death they gave her versus the death from the comics where he threw off the bridge? I believe Goblin threw off the bridge, right? Or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, the Brooklyn.
Yep.
That compared to the comic book, it's still like she died basically the same manner. Like, he tried to catch her with a weapon.
But I mean, as far as him changing it, though.
It didn't feel as significant because it's just like, okay, fight scene in a clock tower. It's like, you could have done this on a bridge.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't get when they did it. Like, why the fuck? Here's the deal. I like that when they in the clock tower, he had to go through all of that shit, the debris, unless when he was flying out trying to grab her and all of that shit, and it gave some obstacles in mid-air versus you just going up to the bridge. There ain't nothing really out there in the air to get in the way. So I kind of can see that, but I just didn't understand why they would even bother to change it, other than the fact of, like, debris flying in the mist between him trying to rescue her. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Probably special effect costs and grandeur. I mean, if you're going to shut down if you're going to try to do it live scale and you're going to try to shut down the Brooklyn Bridge, that's no easy task. Or you're going to have to build that entire environment.
Or at least like they would, it's always a shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? When you get right down to it. At least like CG the rest of it.
Yeah.
They could have done that, and then, I mean, fuck, they do it when he's swinging through Manhattan, because you're not going to find a stuntman sane enough to be like, yeah, man, I'll swing on this rope. You want to wear a mask that inhibits my vision? Fuck, got this. How much? $3,000? Yeah, let's do this, man. I need to get.
Did you watch that movie with your significant other?
Yeah.
Okay, so both.
You mean the new ones, right? The new ones, right?
Yeah, the new ones.
Yeah, I did.
So I mean, I think when we were all watching it, like, we knew what was going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, what was your significant other's, like, reaction when they saw her basically get snapped in half?
My wife's, we were dating at the time. Her reaction was, "Oh my god!" Because I don't know how she watches Game of Thrones, because that's more violent than any fucking film I made her see. But she's like, "Oh my god, she's dead." I'm like, "Yeah, like her neck snapped back." You know, it's
Remember
like
that?
physics, inertia. You know, all that comes into play here, and that at the speed and at the force she was falling to abruptly stop. You know, it was no different than him like letting her hit the ground.
I don't fucking. Hey, babe.
Hmm.
Do you remember watching that Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
Where she died?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
Why in that one did she die and all the rest of them she lives?
Well, no, because there's a different character.
Listen, I don't know.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, see, if I asked my wife the same thing, I'd probably get the same answer.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
then she'd follow it up with, "So, did you get that stuff I asked you to look up online?" I'm like,
Exactly. Now I
don't
do.
your ass know how to work Google? You married me.
I do remember her being into that one, and I think this is why that movie did so well with a lot of people because it really was more of a little love drama flick. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
see, and hear me out. Like that's what I was getting to. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, you know, my wife humors me. She goes to see all of these things, but for whatever reason, man, she's always gotten into the Spider-Man ones more than the other ones.
Yeah, but see, for that same reason. That same reason is the same thing that kept me into Spider-Man. That dynamic between him and Gwen Stacy, like you said earlier, Oscar. Even though I was never a fan of Gwen Stacy because when I was introduced into Spider-Man comics, he was already
With
messing
Mary
around.
Jane.
Yeah, Mary Jane. So I had to go back to read and find out more about Gwen Stacy. So Mary Jane was my first relationship for Spider-Man, whatever, blah blah blah. So, but that dynamic with him and his little love interest was the reason why Spider-Man always was such a personal character for me. You know what I'm saying? So I was waiting for that. I remember there was a time frame back in the 90s, I think it was, and I was like, maybe late, I think it was like the 90s. Because it was around the time, because it was during the time where Todd McFarlane was drawing. And I was like, man, it would be really cool if they did like a divorce sequence. You know, like a divorce deal where Peter Parker and Mary Jane went through a divorce or something, but then got back together later or something. And little did I know that later on those fuckers would take her from me. That sucks. But yeah,
Well, it's like in the JRJR JMS run of Spider-Man, they were separated for a while. Peter Parker and Mary Jane, like she was out in LA doing acting and modeling, and Peter was still in New York, and they weren't talking as much, and all this stuff. So that's a pretty significant thing right there.
That relationship thing has always been a major thing for Spider-Man. And this is another reason why I think that when they're doing the research, I think that when these teams are doing the research for Spider-Man or when they're looking at Spider-Man, I don't think they're looking at the larger or the more recent body of work. Not saying this new shit, because this new shit just doesn't count to me at all. But the larger body of the Spider-Man story arcs has had Peter Parker in relationships. And if you even look back at like the college time frame, Peter always had some chicks fighting over him or wanting him or secretly trying to get with him or something. When he was teaching college, he had students. There was this one issue where there was a young chick who was coming on to him. So I never got I never understood why they wanted to keep Peter Parker as this nerd geek who couldn't get a girl for the rest of his life because he was not really that. I never understood that. But
you know,
how many romance novels do you have on your nightstand now, Mickey?
I do not, but I am a fan of a realistic character. Like even with Spawn, when you go to Spawn and the whole turmoil with him coming back because he wanted to be with Wanda, but he couldn't be with Wanda and he loved Wanda, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? That shit draws you into the story more.
I got a better question. How many posters? How many life-size posters of William Fong do you have in your collection room right now?
William Fong and that beautiful hair. I don't know that shit, man. It makes a difference, I think, because it makes the story more personal to you, versus just it's some bad guy. And that bad guy wants something, and the hero's got to fight for the thing. Even like with Batman being such a psycho. Batman is a fucking psychotic nutcase, but that makes me like that character more. You know what I'm saying?
I think you could chalk Batman's psychology up to like him being a sociopath.
Yeah.
You know, like a high functioning sociopath, but not psychotic though.
Yeah, sociopath. I'll go with you with that. But he is. He's not like the average superhero. He's got some issues. I think that he's just as much a criminal as he is a hero, or he's just as much a criminal as the criminals that he's constantly going after. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not to the point that he's murdering people and shit like that, but Batman ain't the best good guy. He does have a set of core values that he goes with, but I'm pretty sure on any stage, Batman would be considered a criminal.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what's like. If you ever read Watchmen by Alan Moore, that's his Rorschach is basically how Batman would be viewed.
Yeah.
In today's times, it's just him being a severely mentally deranged individual that probably wouldn't shower as much as he should. You know, you know, you laugh. I'm not being.
No, I agree. No, I agree with you totally.
Last thing,
I agree with you.
you know, he would not have, you know, he probably have like a massive amount of, like, he would have a huge amount of facial hair because he doesn't take time to shave and to groom himself properly. He'd just be wearing a mask all the time fighting. So, I mean, that's.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. He'd be a hoarder. He just have stacks and stacks of shit all over.
Because Batman, he doesn't even. He's not. Batman is not Bruce. Bruce Wayne is not Batman. Batman is. Well, how can I say that?
It's Batman is Bruce Wayne. Like Bruce Wayne is the mask. While
yeah,
Batman
exactly.
Is the real person.
Exactly, exactly. And if he could just be if he could just be Batman 24/7 and fuck off Bruce Wayne, he would. So you can't tell me a person like that bothers with shaving all the time. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe
it's
that.
It's like there's that. Speak about Batman's like psychology. There's that episode of Batman Beyond because you just mentioned that show.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Where this new villain, I love that show because of all the new villains, this new roster of villains that the Batman Beyond had to fight.
Yeah.
But there's this one villain that was fucking with Bruce Wayne's head, making him think he was going crazy. And and Terry McGinnis is like, I'm glad you don't think you were going crazy anymore. He's like, yeah, well, I wasn't. I know I wasn't. I was aware the whole time it had to be someone else. He's like, why? He's like, because in my mind I don't call myself Bruce.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that. That was dope. I remember that.
And then Terry McGinnis is like, yeah, well, I'm that guy now. And he goes, yeah, say that to my subconscious. So,
yeah, I think the deal with Batman is that Bruce died in the alley with his parents. You know what I'm saying? He never actually came out of the alley. So,
and there's always that edge of the abyss nonsense. The abyss looks back, and he made eye contact with it. And then you have Frank Miller's Batman.
I'm glad you went to that. Good God.
Segue like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Segue, bitches.
Take notes, guys. He's outdone. But, with Frank Miller's like Batman, Run with Batman, you have Batman Year One, which introduces how Batman came to be and shit like that. And then you have The Dark Knight Returns, which is the we talked about Gwen Stacy, how she ushered in the serious age of comics.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Returns, that and the Watchmen basically ushered in what people call the dark age of comics, where being the anti-hero was cool, and sometimes the hero killed their villains instead of locking them up and hoping that prison could take care of them. And and you can kind of tell how Batman sort of in the Dark Knight Returns, you go from the classic Batman where he helped Harvey Two-Face in the beginning of that storyline to this more aggressive, more physical Batman where he defeated the leader of the mutant gang, with one of the best one-liners in comic book history. He's like, this is an operating table and I'm the
surgeon. That was clean.
Break the mutant leader's legs. And
that was clean.
Seeing that episode of Batman, the animated series, where Michael fucking Ironside voiced Batman just brought chills to my spine, dude. Ugh. It was just perfect. But it's like, and then he turns, at the end, he almost kills the Joker, but then the Joker obviously kills himself by twisting his own neck.
Yeah.
But it's like, it just shows you, like, that storyline alone took Batman to a whole new direction for The Dark Knight Returns. And then you have DK2. And I don't know what the fuck happened. DK2. I don't know what was going on.
Oh, gosh.
And, the rumor is Frank Miller now is, like, sick. And at that time, he was just starting to get sick. Like, he has cancer or something, So, like,
does he really, though? Because I was wondering how much of it was sickness or drugs. Like, is there some documented saying that he actually is sick?
Yeah, there are some people saying it looks like he's going through chemos. He has no hair. I mean, go Google a recent picture of him.
I have been, and this is why I'm saying it. I'm like,
yeah, I'm saying he looks like something you kill in the caves of Skyrim, for the love of God. it's fucking, you know, he looks really wasted and decrepit a bit, you know, and I kind of feel bad because the man at one point was on fire. He did Batman the Dark Knight Returns. He did Sin City, right? He contributed a lot to the comic book industry. He had this prolific run with Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yep,
You know, he gave us Elektra, who's now going to be, you know, debuting with the new Daredevil series, releasing
On
in
the
a few
18th.
days.
Yep, on the 18th, guys.
You know, like all this stuff. He gave us all this stuff, and then in comes DK2, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I can barely tell what's going on because the pencils are so fucking awful.
Wait, Oscar, let me stop you. Okay, so when you and Dust Mites were on, was it episode like 2 or 3? It was like way in the beginning of Toy Detox. You guys came on, and you first told me about that book too. So I actually went out and found it and tried to read it.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I should have listened to you, bro.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Like, the artwork is bad. It's you know, the fight scenes are horrific, and it's like, for some, you know, like the whole thing of Superman allowing himself to get beaten down like that is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, I don't even remember how it ended. I can't say I care. I know it ended with some line like, yeah, that was back when I was old, which makes no fucking sense.
Well, I will
And
say
now-
that DK, the new one, is not.
DK3.
Yeah, it's not. I've been reading it. I'm on the 3rd book now, and it's a hard read, bro. Like when they first introduced it, for anyone who hasn't read it.
Now, that's written by Brian Azzarello, because I know I got the name wrong the first time when we spoke about it.
Okay.
With
You
Does My Tongue.
redeem yourself, Oscar. Yeah. So
he had an amazing, and you know, I'm hearing I'm reading some of the reviews on that. I was reading it last night while I was on break at work and stuff. And it's like, Brian Azzarello had this prolific run on The Flash when he rebooted the whole DC universe. You know, his big problem there he made was like his version of the Reverse Flash, which was, you know, dumb. But it's like, like, I'm told this is not like Frank Miller material, you know, like, because that's what people are expecting from this, is the 1980 fucking Dark Knight Returns.
And it's not anywhere. So that explains a lot, because they were going somewhere in the beginning where they introduced that the little chick who was being Robin, and she's now running around in the Batman suit and everything. They were going somewhere with it, and I was like, okay, this might get interesting, but it's taking so many twists. It's not flowing, and I don't. And it's got these boring cliches, and now there's a whole new Zod. He's not really Zod, but it's basically that same idea of, you know, some more people from Krypton who were trapped in the Phantom Zone, and now they're here, and now they're going to rule the Earth. And it's just, there's not any new ground, man. I'm not sure.
They're dealing with Kryptonians in that?
Yeah, and then of course, so his daughter, Superman's daughter, is in it, because they go and they in his last book they go and they find Superman. He kind of gave up and allowed himself to freeze up in his lair of solitude or whatever. So Batman and Robin free him and wake him up and shit. And so now the Zod guy, I'm gonna call him Zod Jr. He's out and about. He's wreaking havoc. He's trying to take over all of humanity. And the fucking daughter comes, and now they've recruited his daughter, Superman's daughter. And so now Superman's daughter's about to fight her dad. It's just not entertaining. I'll be honest with you. It's a hard read. So I'm reading it only out of loyalty to my memories of the first Dark Knight Returns book.
Oh.
It's just not. It's really sad, because that and the fucking Sins of the Records. I talked about both of these things when you guys were on that very first time, and how excited I was to get into them as they were coming out. And both of them are they're really hard reads right now.
Mm-hmm. I agree with the Sins of the Records. I recently bought the 3rd issue. And I'm like, what?
I haven't even read that.
Tarantulas now, and
yeah, I got it. I read the first one. I read the second one. I bought the 3rd one. I was like, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going
to. I ain't even going to try. You know, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well,
I gotta split.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up because you're coming down on your time, so this fucking show is over. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
Oh, thanks for letting me book myself. I appreciate it. I'm kidding. No, thanks for letting me come on.
Hey,
I always have fun talking with you guys. So.
Yeah, anytime you come on, man, just have your people call. Make sure you call first, though. Just make sure you call. Call before you come over, dude.
Hey, what are you guys doing? We're busy right now. Oh, come on, what's up?
Yeah, man. We know
You
you.
just joke about comic books. Hey!
It's him, Tyler. Don't answer the door, Tyler. Send big ups to first of all, let's send a big up to Mike, who had to miss the show today. He had to rest in because of the time that we were recording and the time that he worked. So shout out to Mike.
Okay, hey, don't lie to the listeners.
Tell him the truth, Tyler. Tell him the truth.
You know what he was doing last night.
What was he doing? What was he doing, Tyler? What was he doing?
He was trying to beat Ken's record of 17 cocks at one time. But he failed horribly, so Ken, your record still stands.
You two guys. You guys
Love
are
you,
crazy. Hey, I need to make a correction. On last episode, we were talking about a question that was raised by Plastic Therapy. I confused Plastic Therapy with Toy Lab. That is my mistake. That is my fault. I don't fucking think I know Plastic Therapy other than being on the ROC when I've been on there. But both of those individuals are really great people. So now that's I think that's two people that two actual people, or three. That's three people I've combined into multiple or divided into multiple, starting with Jisk.
And your Jisk fiasco.
But to be fair, that Jisk thing wasn't on me. I think a lot of people were kind of confused with the Jisk and the J-Bot. So that's your fault. Do better brand management there, Jisk. How about that? Hey, big up to the ROC. Big up to Shattercast. I got a PM from a guy, man, from Chris, as a matter of fact, who was really sending some love our way and thanking us for what we do. And I was just like telling him thank you for supporting us. And he was saying in that PM that he really appreciates and he's really loving the network that's growing between our three podcasts. I think we need a fourth, though, man, because my week's not full. You know what I'm saying? I need a podcast show for every day of the week, bruh. So somebody get on that. Somebody do one more, and then we'll have.
Well, you got
full
Nerd
cipher.
Rage. That kind of fills in the.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so obviously I'm not listening to our show once we post it. I'm not some kind of narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Well, I actually am, but I'm not listening. Not so much to the point that I would listen to our show again. So
yes, you are. Don't you lie to me.
No, because I have to edit this shit, dude. So I fucking after being like, it usually takes me a few hours to edit. Like last show was from 7 p.m. to 11:30, almost 12 o'clock at night. So after that, bro, I don't want to hear it again. You know what I'm saying? But so I got Shattercast, I got Nerd Rage Radio, and then I got the ROC. And ROC is good because they have two shows. They have the Hangouts as well. So that gives me 4. You know what I'm saying? I need one more show though. I need one more show. Somebody, anybody, scream.